Good morning. Welcome to News for Hearing Impaired. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with radio jockeys through video conference, says attitude of togetherness combined with positivity is key to facing challenge posed by COVID-19. Appeals to further strengthen awareness on important issues including social distancing. Total active COVID-19 cases in the country increased to 748, 66 people discharged after treatment, while 19 succumbed to the disease. Nation combats COVID-19. Health Ministry orders purchase of 10,000 ventilators and 30,000 more to be procured by BEL to ensure adequate availability. NEET, undergraduate and JEE mains postponed till last week of May. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu donates a month's salary to Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. SBI passes on entire 75 basis points repo rate cut to its borrowers. International coronavirus cases continue to spiral up with more than 5.5 lakh cases, killing nearly 24,900 people. Italy death rise by 999, highest daily tally since the start of outbreak. France extends lockdown to April 15. 345 deaths and 18,000 new cases in the last 24 hours in the United States. President Trump issues order to force auto giant General Motors to manufacture ventilators. IMF says world has entered recession. On public demand, popular serials Ramayana and Mahabharata make a comeback on Doordarshan from today. Retelecast of Ramayana episodes on DD National at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Mahabharata to be shown on DD Bharati at 12 noon and 7 p.m. every day. And now for the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday interacted with radio jockeys via video conference. Prime Minister Modi urged the RJs to work towards ensuring a constructive and positive attitude in society. He said that an attitude of togetherness combined with positivity is the key to facing the challenge posed by COVID-19. PM said that through the reach of the programs, RJs are like members of families of millions of Indian households. People not only hear but also follow them. RJs have a great responsibility. He also asked them to showcase and constantly celebrate the contributions of the local heroes like police officers, doctors, nurses, ward boys, etc. at the national level. The RJs called the Prime Minister as a part of the RJ fraternity since he had been hosting the widely successful Mann Ki Baat on radio since 2014. Pointing out the unprecedented response to PM's call of Janta Curfew and his innovative idea of thanking the frontline warriors, Prime Minister Modi appreciated the role played by the RJs in spreading awareness about COVID-19. He said, it is praiseworthy that even in lockdown, RJs are discharging their responsibility and recording programs from home. Prime Minister Modi also requested RJs to provide feedback about the difficulties and challenges faced by the people so that the government can proactively resolve them. Government has announced a number of measures to assist the poor and underprivileged in this difficult time. Prime Minister has stressed on the importance of information about these announcements to reach the intended beneficiaries swiftly and in a timely fashion. Prime Minister observed that public broadcaster All India Radio has a particularly important role to play in stopping the flow of rumours. Total active COVID-19 cases in the country has risen to 748. 66 people have been discharged after treatment, while 19 have succumbed to the disease. Over 15,24,266 passengers have been screened at the airport till now. As nation combats coronavirus, Health Ministry has assured that all efforts are being done to break the chain of COVID-19 transmission. In his daily briefing to the media over the COVID-19 pandemic, Joint Secretary of Health Love Agarwal said the government is taking preemptive and proactive approach to tackle the situation. In order to upgrade the number of ventilators in the country, Agarwal said that Health Ministry has given an order to PSU to provide 10,000 ventilators. Bharat Electronics Limited, or BEL, which is one of the Defence Ministry's PSUs, has also been requested to purchase 30,000 additional ventilators in 1 to 2 months.
वेंटिलेटर्स की जो एक कमी स्टेट में कंट्री में महसूस की गई थी, उसके हिसाब से उसको अपग्रेड करने के लिए हमारे एक पीएसयू को हमने 10,000 वेंटिलेटर की आपूर्ति करने के लिए आदेश जारी किए हैं। इसके साथ ही भारत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक लिमिटेड से भी 1 से 2 महीने के अंतर्गत 30,000 एडिशनल वेंटिलेटर खरीदने का अनुरोध किया गया है। सरकार देश में वेंटिलेटर्स की उपलब्धता बढ़ाने के लिए सभी रिक्वायर्ड कार्य कर रही है।
Informing the media about telemedicine, an initiative by the health sector to cater to patients in the absence of outpatient service at the hospitals, Love Agarwal said the Health Ministry has issued national telemedicine guidelines. It is a facility through which patients can consult doctors sitting at home. He further said that at least 1.4 lakh companies have allowed their employees to work from home.
25 मार्च को टेलीमेडिसिन के लिए भी दिशा निर्देश जारी किए गए हैं। ये दिशा निर्देश और इनके द्वारा लॉकडाउन की अवधि में स्वास्थ्य सेवा का डिसेमिनेशन, अवेलेबिलिटी बढ़ाने के लिए इसके लिए डायरेक्शन इशू की गई हैं। माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी ने भी आज देश के सभी गवर्नरों, लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नरों और साथ ही जो नॉन गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, जिसमें कि भारतीय रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी भी है, उनके साथ भी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के माध्यम से कोविड-19 के ऊपर उसको कंट्रोल करने के ऊपर और उसके साथ उसमें कैसे मिलकर हमें काम करना है, उसके लिए भी एक आज वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस की थी।
The National Medical Entrance Exam NEET has been postponed in view of the countrywide lockdown due to the COVID-19 outbreak. In a tweet, HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said since parents and students have to travel to different examination centers to avoid any inconvenience to them, he has directed the National Testing Agency to postpone NEET Undergraduate 2020 and JEE Mains till last week of May. The National Eligibility Cum Entrance, that's the NEET exams, were scheduled for May 3rd. Vice President has contributed a sum equivalent to a month's salary to the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund to strengthen the government's effort in combating COVID-19 outbreak in the country. In a letter to the Prime Minister Modi, the Vice President described COVID-19 as a calamity of extremely severe nature, which has claimed a heavy toll of life across the globe. He said that India is fighting the pandemic by taking timely and emergent measures from time to time under the leadership of PM Modi. Union Ministers Ravi Shankar Prasad and Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank have also donated their 1 month salary to the fund. Meanwhile, State Bank of India has said that it has decided to pass on the entire 75 basis points repo rate cut announced by the Reserve Bank of India. The new rates to be effective from the 1st of April will be applicable for its borrowers availing loans based on external benchmark linked lending rate and repo linked lending rate. The bank said in a statement that equated monthly installments on eligible home loan accounts linked to EBR or RLLR will get cheaper by around 52 rupees per 1 lakh rupees on a 30-year loan. The Union Home Ministry has also asked state governments to prevent a mass exodus of migrant agricultural laborers, industrial workers and unorganized sector employees from their workplaces to hometowns amid a 21-day nationwide lockdown to combat COVID-19. In an advisory to all states and union territories, the Home Ministry said they should also make arrangements for uninterrupted supply of essential commodities to hotels, working women's hostels so that they can continue to live in the existing facilities. The states and union territories have also been advised to make these vulnerable groups aware of the measures taken by the government, including provision of free food grains and other essential items through PDS, and streamline the distribution system. The Home Ministry has also advised the states and union territories to ensure that hotels, rented accommodations, hostels, etc. continue to remain functional and delivery of essential items is streamlined so that students, working women, hostel inmates, etc. are allowed to continue in the existing facilities observing precautions. The coronavirus enforced lockdown has triggered a mass exodus of migrant workers across the country. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal on Friday briefed the media on the arrangements to tackle COVID-19 cases daily. Kejriwal said that the government has sufficient arrangements to tackle 100 COVID-19 cases on a day-to-day basis. He said the state government will provide food to around 2 lakh people from today.
डॉक्टर सरीन जो कि ILBS के हेड हैं, उनके अध्यक्षता में उन डॉक्टर्स की टीम ने बहुत शानदार काम किया है। उन्होंने कल अपनी रिपोर्ट दी है, सारी तैयारियों का प्लान बना के कि आने वाले समय में अगर कोरोना के केस बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गए दिल्ली के अंदर तो हमें क्या क्या तैयारियां करनी हैं। 100 से जैसे ही बढ़ते हैं तो इन्होंने प्लानिंग करके दी है कि हमें 100 से बढ़ने पे इन अस्पतालों के अंदर और तैयारियां करनी हैं। ये प्राइवेट अस्पताल को हमें इंक्लूड करना है, ये एम्बुलेंसेज यहाँ से आएंगी, ये वेंटिलेटर यहाँ से आएंगी। तो 100 से बढ़ते ही फिर हम वो सारी चीज़ें इम्प्लीमेंट करना चालू करेंगे। एक तरह से SOP तैयार हो गया हमारा, एक तरह से पूरी प्लानिंग तैयार हो गई। 100 से बढ़ने पे हमें ये स्टेप्स लेने हैं।
Delhi Chief Minister also praised many organizations who are helping the government provide food to the needy.
कई सारी सामाजिक और धार्मिक संस्थाएं साथ आई हैं। इस्कॉन वाले बहुत मदद कर रहे हैं, राधा स्वामी वाले बहुत मदद कर रहे हैं, गुरुद्वारे वाले बहुत मदद कर रहे हैं, वो सरकार की भी मदद कर रहे हैं और ख़ुद भी काफ़ी चला रहे हैं। और भी मैं किसी का अगर नाम लेना भूल गया हूं तो मुझे माफ़ कर दीजिएगा। बहुत सारे और लोग बहुत मदद कर रहे हैं। उन सब लोगों का मैं तहे दिल से जनता की ओर से शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूं।
Keeping in view the situation created by COVID-19, Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank has directed Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan to provide buildings to local administration for temporary housing of suspected COVID-19 cases. In accordance with the direction, the competent authority, KVS has decided that on receipt of a formal request from any defence authority or district administration, the principal of a Kendriya Vidyalaya concerned shall allow the use of classrooms of KV school buildings for temporarily housing suspected COVID-19 cases. Moving on, Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu on Friday held a review meeting with the Deputy Commissioners of all districts and inquired about the status of preparedness. He mentioned the state government's initiatives and incentives for the people of the state. The total number of suspected cases are 13, out of which 9 were found negative, while the results of 4 persons are pending.
जितने भी हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं, सभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में कोरोना वायरस के खिलाफ उसको कंटेन करने के लिए बाय एंड लार्ज प्रिपरेशन बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है। वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के ज़रिए जितने भी हमारा जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स है, खास करके जो एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज़ का स्टॉक हमने भी जायज़ा लिया और सभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में स्टॉक अच्छा है और डिप्टी कमिश्नर्स लोगों को ये निर्देश दिया है कि हमारा एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज़ में किसी प्रकार से भी शॉर्टेज नहीं होना है।
Goa Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant on Friday held a meeting with the Chief Secretary and senior officers to discuss the prevailing situation on COVID-19 epidemic in the state. During the meeting, it was decided to review the arrangements and to give more stress upon home delivery of essential items to the public. It was further decided to allow all private goods vehicles holding valid permit issued by the Transport Department to ply in Goa to carry food supply and other essential exempt items. A team of senior officials has been convened to look into complaints pertaining to quarantine and misuse of home quarantine facility by those who have been stamped. These officials will send reports from all over the state to the office of Chief Minister. Moving to the world, where the worldwide confirmed cases of COVID-19 rose to about 550,000, while the number of deaths increased to over 25,000 people. Surpassing the death toll of China, Italy recorded a shocking spike in coronavirus deaths on Friday, with 969 new victims, the worst daily record for any country since the pandemic began. To aid the country in this time of crisis, Russian military medics came out to help Italy when the country itself in piling up on new positive cases. The Russian army started shipments of medical aid to Italy on Sunday, a goodwill gesture from President Putin. The number of confirmed cases rose by 5,959 on Friday to 86,498, taking Italy past China with the death toll at 9,134. Continuing to rise at the second spot, Spain recorded more coronavirus deaths than any other country except Italy, as the death toll has increased overnight by 769 people to 4,858 lives lost, a rise by around 19%. With the number of infections rising overnight to 64,059 people from Thursday's number of 56,188, Spain is struggling to cope as patients continue to stream into hospitals where staff face a shortage of protective gear such as masks. Meanwhile, Spain hastily transformed an ice rink into a makeshift mortuary as confirmed cases in Spain have jumped tenfold since the state of emergency was imposed on March 14th. French health authorities reported 299 new deaths from coronavirus, taking the total to 1,995 as the government decides to extend the national lockdown by 2 weeks, now due to end on April 15th at the earliest. Meanwhile, 32,964 people have tested positive for the virus so far, although the real number of cases is likely far higher as testing was reserved for high-risk patients. Aiding in process, the French military shipped several patients from eastern France to Bordeaux in an effort to elevate hospitals off the climbing influx of COVID-19 patients. The United States has more than 1 lakh confirmed cases of the new COVID-19, with overall 1,717 cases, including 1,544 deaths. The biggest cluster by far is in New York, home to almost half the cases, overwhelming the hospital system. Although the death rate figure could fall as greater testing reveals more people who are positive but asymptomatic. In the meantime, US President Donald Trump said while speaking at a signing ceremony for a coronavirus economic relief bill that he expected thousands of urgently needed ventilators will be produced as part of the United States response to the COVID-19 pandemic as the demand for ventilators skyrockets during the pandemic. Amidst the rising numbers, New York plans to build 8 temporary hospitals to meet an expected surge, and the state estimates that the demand for hospitals' capacity will peak in 3 weeks. However, with the largest number of cases in Gulf countries, Iran reported 2,389 more cases of COVID-19 infection as the total number reached 29,406. The country reported 157 new deaths from the virus, raising its death toll from the virus to 2,234. So far, a total of 10,457 patients have recovered since the first cases were detected on February 19th. Iran also announced the implementation of a social distancing plan for 1 week starting Friday. The plan includes further restrictions on the intercity travels, the closure of public places like parks, swimming pools, and entertainment centers. Wall Street broke a 3-day winning streak on Friday with stocks selling off into the closing bell. President Donald Trump was about to sign a $2 trillion coronavirus stimulus package passed earlier by the House, but some investors are clearly uneasy about holding their positions through the weekend. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down about 915 points or 4.1%, following a blistering 21.3% rally from Tuesday through Friday. The S&P 500 fell 3.4% and the Nasdaq Composite dropped 3.8%. Asian equities rose on Friday. Japan's Nikkei 225 index closed up 3.9% and China's Shanghai Composite gained 0.3% after the central government said it would limit the entry to the country. Equity markets in India, Sensex and Nifty turned volatile and closed lower on Friday's afternoon session as the bigger than anticipated cut by RBI made investors jittery amid escalating impact of the coronavirus crisis on the economy. BSE 30 share barometer Sensex ended 131 points lower at 29,815 points, and NSE 50 share index Nifty closed at 8,660, rising 18 points. Earlier in the sessions, both index rose by nearly 4%. The coronavirus has already plunged the global economy into recession. IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva has added that immense pressure is on the emerging markets already suffering from lost commerce, reduced exports and massive capital outflows. She also said that emerging market countries need at least 2.5 trillion in financial resources to get through the pandemic. IMF member countries had encouraged the fund to focus its efforts on steps that could be done quickly, including a doubling of emergency financing to 100 billion and creation of a new short-term liquidity facility.
Clear that we have entered a recession as bad or worse than in 2009. We do project recovery in 2021. In fact, there may be a sizable rebound, but only if we succeed with containing the virus everywhere and prevent liquidity problems from becoming a solvency issue. A key concern about a long-lasting impact of the sudden stop of the world economy is the risk of a wave of bankruptcies and layoffs that not only can undermine the recovery, but can erode the fabric of our societies. To avoid this happening, many countries have taken far-reaching measures to address the health crisis and to cushion its impact on the economy.
When the 2020 Tokyo Olympics were postponed to 2021 earlier this week, thousands of athletes around the world who had already qualified for the Games were left to wonder if they would have to re-earn their spots. The International Olympic Committee offered some reassuring news for those athletes on Friday. IOC spokesperson Mac Adams confirmed in a text message that qualified athletes will keep their spots and not have to re-qualify, providing clarity on one of the most significant issues amid the fallout of the Olympic postponement. Doordarshan and DD Bharati will be telecasting mythological series Ramayana and Mahabharata respectively from today on public demand. One episode of Ramayana in the morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., another in the evening from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. While Mahabharata will be telecast at 12 noon and 7 p.m. every day. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said that many social media users had demanded the airing of Ramayana directed by Ramanand Sagar and Mahabharata directed by late P.R. Chopra amid the 21-day nationwide lockdown. Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati thanked the INB Minister Javadekar and the Sagar family for the development in a series of tweets. Mahabharata will be telecast on DD Bharati. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for watching. Take care. Namaskar.